You're the Terrifics. I'm Michael Artsis. Welcome back to your live continuing coverage of InfoComm 2015's Digital Signage Pavilion. On the Digital Signage stage on Be Terrific, I'm Michael Artsis here at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. Thanks so much for joining us. You guys are awesome. Keep the chat going, keep the chatter coming, and keep watching. We're here today all day, and tomorrow we're here as well, and it's just been amazing. This is the real theme park, and to prove it, our next guest is oh wow, they've got a ride you guys have got to see. All right, let me tell you about these guys. So you know that I love finding innovative companies that, you know, maybe get hidden in the back of convention centers or aren't necessarily seen by everybody, and kind of bringing them to you, finding them. So the other day I'm walking around, and this guy comes up to me, and he says, hey man, I love your coverage. Thank you so much. I watch you all the time. I'm like, okay, come on, really? And he goes, no, I'm serious. He starts talking to me about interviews we've done, and he loves it. I said, oh, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much. We have a lot of fun. We start talking. What do you do, by the way? He says, I own a company called A Production House, and this is what we do. And he shows me this race car that's amazing. It's tricked out with cameras and Atomos monitors and recorders. It's unbelievable. What do you do with this? He goes, yeah, we shoot video. We do all sorts of productions. Really? Yeah. We specialize in camera movement. That's pretty cool. You know what the best part is? This car is electric powered. Then we start talking some more, and he's got all sorts of toys, and they do all sorts of crazy stuff. I said, I got to book you for the show. We got to talk about content creation. This is the Digital Signage Pavilion, and what is the biggest problem everybody has, the most noted concern? Oh, we have this great digital signage system. Now what do we do? What do we put on it? Content. Well, here's a guy who can talk content and about how you produce content and different ways to produce content, and maybe you might even want to hire him. He builds his own rigs and all sorts of stuff. So we've got Mike and Amy. Amy's a stunt driver. She's a stunt everything, a stunt person, and that's part of what makes your whole thing work, because you need a stunt person to help pull all this stuff off to get the magical video you guys shoot. Amazing, amazing stuff. So it's Mike and Amy from A Production House. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited you're here.
Thank you for having us.
We could talk all day.
Yes, you could.
Just tell people I'm not making that story up.
You're not making that story up.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It does sound a little nuts, right?
Yeah, pretty much. What we do is kind of crazy for some people.
Yeah.
You know.
And so thank you for coming up to me the other day.
Oh, anytime.
And so one of the things you did here in Orlando, they've got one of these huge Ferris wheels. This is
they call it an observation wheel.
An observation wheel. This is like the one they have in Vegas. People
one in Vegas,
they call it the
London,
Link.
Yeah.
They call it the Link, and people are familiar with that one probably more than the one in Orlando, but they've got this thing. You had some guy get on top of one the other night using this GoPro 360 camera, and I think VR is going to be big in digital signage and the 360 stuff in the future. I really do believe that. And so you've made this mount.
Yes.
And this holds a bunch of GoPros so that you can get 360 video, which we can show off your phone, by the way, with our little desk cam here. So hold your phone up.
Yeah, that particular mount was made for race cars.
This one was made for race cars,
right.
But you used one on top of this thing. So did you get a permit for this or anything?
A permit in what way?
So the guy just got up on the top of this thing.
Well, it was Nick Walenda,
yeah.
And he's famous for doing tightrope walks and stuff.
Right.
And then the Orlando Eye, we were helping with the opening, the grand opening with him, and we made the suggestion, why don't we do this in 360? And they were like, how do you do it? And we're like, we can do it for you.
So let's show the video on your phone, because
no
we can't display it the way you can display it on your phone. So just hold it up for a sec so Dave can move the camera around that's on the desk and get a shot of it. So let's wait for that to happen, and we'll talk about, Amy, so you do stunts like this. Would you ever get on top of this thing?
Yes.
You got on top of it too?
I was the rigger for it, so they were doing their best to keep me in the pod so that I didn't actually climb out with Nick.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, so they had to would they have to strap you down with one of those harnesses?
No, they kept me on the ground.
Oh, they kept you on the ground, yeah, because
Yeah.
even the harness wouldn't have worked, huh?
No, I'd have been up that ladder just as fast as he was.
All right, so
Well,
here's the
what you have
phone.
to
Let's play the video.
understand
Let's start the video over
Okay, no problem.
and play the video and show this off. So this is on top, and it's a 360 video. Hold it down a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
And then, no, right there. Yeah, there
we
you go.
go.
A little bit for, okay, perfect. So now
you can move it around.
This is what 360 video is all
And if
about.
you can move the phone around, and you can see all the ground and everything with it, and you can see he's actually moving. I can also pause it, and then you can still move it around.
Unbelievable. And this is all done with this little rig you built. You did this on your 3D printer.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. That's unreal. I really like that, and I love, this is kind of the kinds of things you're doing, and this can be used for digital signage. That very thing could be used for digital signage. That's pretty amazing.
Interactive type stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and so you've got this car. Let's talk about the car. Now this can go on top of the car, but you also have all sorts of other cameras rigged to the car.
Steadicam systems, gyro-based camera systems, pretty much whatever camera you want to put on it.
And you built this car.
Actually, it was built by a company called RevTech. They're the battery manufacturer we deal with. We've been close related with them for about 2 years now, and we pretty much worked together to pretty much design the vehicle that way we need. They pretty much did the whole base of the vehicle. Then we came in and displayed, well, we want to put this camera on here, this camera there, and their battery system is what the real magic of the vehicle is. I mean, they make these insane batteries.
So this battery, it powers the car,
Yes.
and then you have a separate battery to power the motor of the car.
Yes.
And how fast will this thing go? This is for chasing other vehicles, for any movement kind of thing.
This configuration, top speed is 45 miles an hour.
That's pretty fast.
We can make it go faster.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
And how long will that battery, how big is this battery?
The one that actually powers the car is 72 volts. These other packs that we brought with us is basically 24 volt packs. And this pack right here can run your whole entire studio that you have here, minus the lighting.
That pack could run the whole entire studio minus the light, really?
Yes.
If you had LEDs, we could add that in too.
How many kilowatt? You said 2?
This is 2.5 kilowatts.
Wow.
2.5 kilowatts right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You guys are just hooked up with like the latest tech.
Well, that's what we try and do.
What is the coolest thing you've ever shot?
I think the coolest thing I ever did was the landing of the space shuttle, the last 2 landings of the space shuttle.
Yeah.
We were actually on the tarmac in another vehicle, and it would fly right over us.
Wow.
That's probably the coolest thing I've done.
And were you moving as it landed?
Yes, we were driving at about 60 miles an hour.
That's unbelievable.
And the wash actually pushed us out of the way.
Talk about the jet wash pushed you out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. I've been hit by jet wash before. It's not fun.
Not when you got a very expensive camera with you as well.
So talk about content creation for digital signage and how important it is to get it right and do creative things like this.
To me, it basically brings in other people to look. They go, oh, what was that? You know, and it gives their attention. And then the client can basically put whatever content they want or any message they want. But everything's going to digital signage. I mean, you've got all these new big LED walls, and just to put a PowerPoint up there, it's kind of boring, you know? So you want to have something to catch the viewer's eye. And especially with like a show like this, basically everybody wants to show something flashy. So you get those shots that nobody else gets, and that grabs their attention. I mean, if you want us on the outside of a plane footage, we would do it.
Yeah.
You want somebody to fall off a building with a camera, we can do that. So we do all the special stuff that nobody really gets to do.
APHAV.com,
Yes.
APHAV.com. And you guys are really talented, but it's all about creating this magical content.
Yes.
I think you said it right. You got to catch the people's eyes. So whether it's just shooting a shuttle that's landing, or it's being on top of a Ferris wheel, you got to do it. And I like how it's not enough to just be on top of this crazy Ferris wheel with a guy who's got a high wire he's going to go across with no net underneath. You now have to do it in 360, but it makes it so much more interactive, and the thing it gives people is perspective.
Yes.
Yeah, because what I want to do with this is broadcast live with it. So what I have this idea that we could, like at the New York Auto Show, let's say, we could put this in a car, have a second stream of this that we pipe our audio into, and now I could do an interview. And if you don't want to necessarily watch the interview like this, you can go to the stream that has the footage of the car, and now we're talking about that car, and you can go inside the car and look and move around. If you're wearing the goggles, you'll just move around like that. So if you put your phone into one of those Oculus or you know whatever,
well,
we did
you'd
that
be moving
with
your
the
head.
360 for the Ferris wheel, and it was so interesting to watch people all of a sudden like catch their balance.
Yeah.
They felt like they were on the wheel.
Or you could put it on a big screen, a digital signage display, and if you get one of these touch ones, you can move it around with your hand.
There's actually a kiosk we deal with where you can do that. You can actually walk into a 180-degree screen, projection screen, and feel like you're actually in the shot itself. And then you can have a tablet where you move, and you can move the image around however you feel like it.
And then you can tour that location with that 360, because it links and links and links.
So pretty much if we shot in a bunch of places around the world, we can link them all together on this one kiosk.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to see what like Switzerland looked like, push on it, and now you have 360 of Switzerland. We're working with a couple different race agencies to basically put these in race cars and do all the tracks around the country, so a driver can see what the track looks like before he even gets there.
Wow, that's so amazing. That would be unbelievable for rally racing too, because you know, especially not only in America with Rally America, but how about WRC in Europe, where they're nuts and they don't get to see the track, and they've got the guy next to them, the co-driver, and he's like, L3, L5, and L3 means the 3 means how severe the turn is,
Correct, yeah.
and L means left, and he's reading this out at 130,
Yes.
140, 150 miles an hour like this. L3, L5, L6, right?
exactly
you know,
right.
R1.
We actually have a friend of ours who actually does that for a living. He races.
It's
for a
crazy.
living on
It
that,
is.
on that circuit.
Who is that?
Eduardo Marquez.
Very nice.
Eduardo
that's cool.
Marquez is a rally racer, and
Yeah.
he just
Yep.
came off of the new Mad Max film as well.
Very
so he
cool.
was a stunt driver on that.
I've been in the rally car with Tanner Faust, with Pastrana,
Yes.
and with one other driver, and it's ridiculous.
But
It's
now,
scary.
Now imagine you can be a passenger 360
Exactly.
at your home.
That's a much
or-
safer and better way to do it. This is the only time in my life I really thought it was going to end. I did. The first drive I went on, I thought it was, the guy goes, we're going to go up this hill about 90 miles an hour, make a 90-degree right turn. And by the way, I missed the press ride, so we're doing this during shakedown, which is the real deal. And I'm in his co-driver suit, pretending to be his co-driver. And
Did
he
you get
starts
the turns wrong?
Oh, well, he looks at me right before we start, and he goes, "You know how to read this, right?" And I'm like, "No." And he goes, "All right, well, hopefully I can do it from memory, and from last year." And I'm like, "Okay." And then he goes, he's reading off the speeds to me. I don't know why. And he goes, 90, 120, 130, 140. I go, what happened to 90? What happened to 90? I felt like George Costanza. What happened to 90?
Yep.
And then we make the 90-degree right turn at 130 miles an hour. The car's sliding sideways, never straight again, over jumps. I thought we were going to hit a tree, for sure. I said, oh, this is how it's going to end.
Racing.
It's amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's much better off of this, though, where I can sit at home.
You're not picking dirt out of your teeth or anything.
Exactly. Now, what's the craziest stunt you've ever done?
Ooh, craziest stunt I've ever done.
Well, you have to understand something. To a stunt person, that's not crazy.
Funnest.
Yeah.
What's the most fun? Funnest. I invented a new word.
I
for
think
you.
for me the most memorable
Yeah.
was when I did a full body burn, open face, but I had an all-girl crew.
Yeah.
I had an all-girl dress team, and when I took my mask off and they realized I was a girl, that for me was one of those moments that I was like, done.
Wow. How did you get into being a stunt woman?
Oh, I was a tumbler first. I was a dancer first. So I was a gymnast.
But what
and
made you wake up one day and say, you know what, I want to get
it's an
shot through a
evolution.
cannon?
Well, it's evolution. You just kind of keep finding things to entertain yourself. That's entertainment.
Right.
You know, and so for me, it's all about learning something new, learning.
Is there an adrenaline rush? Are you an adrenaline
course,
junkie?
I am.
Have you tried one of those wingsuits?
I would love to.
You're nuts. I would never do that. That's pretty cool. Very cool. Thank you guys for sharing.
Oh,
and where do I get one of these? I want one. How can I get one?
I can
A
print one
production
for you.
house.
Awesome.
We don't actually sell
But you're
that,
not
but
selling them.
no, we're
are
not
you?
selling
Are you
them.
going to plan on selling it?
No, not at all.
That's very cool.
Basically, I don't have time to manufacture for a lot of other people. You know, I'm manufacturing for my own clientele. So, but
Mike, thank you so much.
If you need one, I can hook you up with one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That's very nice. We might have to do it. And it's so nice to meet you. Mike and Amy from A Production House. It's aphav.com, aphav.com. You guys are amazing. And it's so fun. And thank you for coming up and saying those such kind words. Thank you
you're
for
welcome.
watching and being a viewer.
I'm a viewer, and I still will be.
Thank you. You're one of the terrifics.
Thanks.
So from two of the terrifics on the couch to you terrifics at home, thank you so much for watching. We have a whole lot more to come. We'll be back right after this with your live continuing coverage of InfoComm's Digital Signage Pavilion on the Digital Signage stage on Be Terrific right after this. Don't go anywhere.